If you are interested in wholesaling commercial real estate with me, even if you're not a student, here's the update from over a year ago when I originally made this offer. There are a couple of things I need to clear up to make sure that I give you and myself the best opportunity to cash checks from commercial real estate deals. So stand by for the update and let's get it. Okay, we're back. I should have done a recap of this opportunity sometime back because I've gotten so many submissions of people submitting properties that don't fit in the window for non-students of the Flipping Vacant Commercials course. So I thought it was a good idea, and it is, to use the reach that I have with you all that I really appreciate, that follow my information, to see what you're seeing, because I'm not in New York, I'm not in Oklahoma, I'm not in LA, I'm not in Utah, I'm not in the state of Washington. I can go on, but the internet is, and people watch all over the country. So why not use this as an opportunity where you could possibly make money and I can possibly make money. So what I decided to do a few months back, maybe been over a year ago, I'm not sure, is create a website. You see it here, iccre.com. CRE means commercial real estate, where if you see something that fits into my lane as far as the type of property that I like to wholesale, then hey, why not submit it? You know, just a few instructions and boom, we may have an opportunity. The problem with that is that a lot of people have confused some other videos that I put out about flipping single tenant buildings, flipping vacant commercial buildings. I can't accept those from non-students because it's just too difficult to put those deals together without any training. And so I have other properties that don't require any training, which actually provides a bigger opportunity because it's more than just that one type of property, but there is some instructions and minimum requirements that are needed to even do that. So what I want to do is do a recap of the video. Hopefully this is a better explanation. We can all be on the same page. Those of you that are interested, you submit stuff and hopefully we can do a deal, make some of this commercial money, which is a whole nother ball game in itself. Okay, so on the screen here, you see the requirements and instructions. The number one thing first, that it must be off market. Now, my definition of off market is, first, Google the address, and in the first 2 pages of searches, if you see anywhere that it is for sale online, I'm not going to be interested. Just off the top, no questions asked, nothing. I'm not going to be interested. And the reason being, just simply put, whenever something's already advertised online for sale, you lose a lot of your control, if not all of it, especially in the commercial world. So I'm just not even going to put any energy into that. If I Google the address and it pulls up, and normally it's going to pull up in those first 2 pages of searches on Google, then, you know, hey, I'm not going to be in, because your potential buyer is going to be able to see the same thing. They can contact the owner, possibly just to blow your deal up. You know, it's just too difficult to do deals anyway. I don't want to complicate it anymore. The other thing is that you need to be dealing directly with the owner of the property and or the owner's broker. No seller reps or none of this stuff. Wanting to sign NCDs or whatever they call them, or whatever, non-complete clauses or whatever. I'm not going to be interested. This all comes from me experience of wasting, and in one situation, an entire year chasing those types of deals. Other people can put them together. I'm not interested. So you need to be dealing directly with the owner or the owner's broker, not a seller rep or any of this stuff. All right. The other thing is that you pass the first 2 hurdles on a particular property, the info that's needed, I'll be able to provide that for you. But the first thing you need to do is go out and video the property, just a short video. Don't have to get too complicated on that. and upload to YouTube. We say, well, I don't know how to do that. Okay, I'm assuming most people have a smartphone. If you don't, you need to get one because you're kidding yourself. If you're trying to do any business, they're too inexpensive and they're too valuable for you if you're trying to do business. So if you don't know how to upload a video to YouTube, there are going to be tons of videos on YouTube to show you exactly how to do that. So why not take advantage of the information and the technology to make it easier for both of them? Because I need to see what you're seeing. And the video only has to be a couple of minutes long or whatever. And so, which I can send examples of how videos should appear or whatever. It's no big deal. If you text me, I can send you the instructions on what's needed on that before you go out and video the property. All right. So once you have all of that information, obviously you're going to need the address, and there's some questions on the site to identify what's needed, but it's very minimum information. And you submit it to my website here, iccre.com. So it's that simple. So now let's go ahead and get into quickly the types of properties that I will accept and the ones that I won't accept. It'll only take a couple of minutes to finish that because it's really cut and dry. Okay, first on the list, multifamily or apartment buildings. Now, these are probably going to be easier to identify when they're vacant than anything, which I'll show you obviously a picture of a vacant one. But it may be a situation as simple as it may be an apartment building that you're living in and you know the guy's a bad manager, right? And it's obvious they're not fixing anything. Half of the property is filled or whatever. And you know they're probably struggling just from your naked eye, what you see. Or you may know a situation of a friend or family member that may be living in an apartment building like that. Or you just may be in the business, maybe a property manager, and you know the guy is struggling and probably really needs to sell, and you probably know that they want to sell. So in that situation, you don't probably want to contact them directly if you live in the apartment building, but if it's a friend or family member, then you can do that to see if they're interested in selling the property. And if they are, then, you know, we go from there. You submit and follow the instructions from earlier in this particular video. On apartment buildings, they can be occupied and or vacant. Okay, here's an example of an actual vacant apartment building. Normally they're very obvious, like this one here. It's not even boarded up, so you know there's a situation there that should be a high level of motivation, and sometimes it still isn't. It's amazing, you know, some people have more money than sense. Anyway, so vacant properties, multifamily that are obviously vacant. You would have to track down the owner. That's part of you doing it. And the first thing you want to do when you're looking for any owner is find out where the tax bill is going. All right. If you determine where the tax bill is going, then now you could possibly find the phone number. But if not, just simply take something in the mail and see if they'll respond to you that you're interested in buying the building. Next on the list, hotel or motels. They could be vacant or occupied. So that's a wide range of properties. Again, they could be vacant or occupied. Goes back to the same thing. Hopefully it's off market. You can deal directly with the owner or the owner's broker. See if they're interested in selling. If they are, submit it to the site and we go from there. Okay, a lot of you may never think about these, but self-storage or public storage. This is an opportunity here also. Now, a lot of these outfits are owned by large corporations, which some of them you can just identify by how it's laid out. But then a lot of them, like this one here, is probably a mom and pop operation or whatever. So it may be easier to reach the decision maker. But self-storage or public storage. Okay, retail strip centers. Now with this one, I'm going to have to explain a little more. Now, you have to think of these properties as an apartment building. The yellow outline that I have here is an empty space, or it appears to be, and the one next door to it. For some reason, people think you can just buy that space. And I'm sure it's parts of the country or some properties you may can do that. But in most cases, you have to buy the entire building. That's what I would be interested in, the entire property here. This entire building is, I'm almost assured, I don't even know where this is, but that's by one owner, not just this space. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know what's around the building. Different owners. There's just one owner. So what I look for with the retail strip centers, that they are or at least 50% vacant. And you can just look at the naked eye on that and see. So that's a stronger possibility that there may be some distress there on the property if it's more than 50% vacant. So again, go back to the same thing, try to reach out to the owners if they're interested in selling. And a lot of times the easiest way to reach out to these owners is that the property may have a for lease sign in it, like right here, and you reach out to the leasing manager and maybe the actual owner and see if they would be interested in selling. So retail strip centers, but not an entirely vacant center, only about 50% or between, I'll just say between 50 to 60% vacant would be ideal for those, because hopefully we'll find someone that may be in distress. So again, hopefully I explained that for you all that may not know. You're not just trying to buy this one empty space. You're trying to buy the entire building. Okay, so now let's get into what I don't accept. All right. I have a few videos here on my YouTube channel, or on YouTube if you're not on YouTube watching this, that I go into the opportunity of single tenant vacant buildings. It's called triple net. That means they're renting, only one tenant is there, like a Burger King or Starbucks, or this is an old Rite Aid here, a former Kmart or something like that. You only have one tenant in that single building. And again, I don't accept those from non-students that have not went through that particular training. Now, I have students on the houses and apartment side of it, so they wouldn't be considered students of that particular training. It's just a different animal. It's very difficult to put those deals together. It can be very rewarding, but it's very difficult and it requires training. Whereas the other properties that I was just going through before, I can just tell you to collect a certain bits of information and boom, I don't know if it's an opportunity or not, we move forward. But with this, you can't. So I'm just going to go through the types of properties which is all, I just explained it, but I'm just going to give you some examples and not just limited to those, but I just can't accept those from non-students. I just wanted to make that very, very clear. All right, so this is an old Rite Aid here. So that's obvious. You'll see some old Rite Aids and Walgreens, because at the date of this video, Walgreens purchased Rite Aids. And so some of those are vacant now because a lot of times they are or were directly across the street from each other. And those are not in place because it's a single tenant building. All right. This is a former restaurant. The way it looks like, it may have been an old KFC or something. So no, I don't accept those. All right. This is the Burger King. I don't think it's vacant, but I pulled it anyway because there were no cars in the lot. But just to give you an idea, this is an old restaurant, so it wouldn't be an option. I don't accept those. All right. Now this is a former Autozone, or it may be brand new, but again, it looks like it's vacant at the time. But just to give you another idea, don't accept those. So I think I was very clear on what I accept and what I don't accept. Again, this still is an opportunity because there are more types of commercial properties that I do accept versus the one I don't accept. And I don't know what you know. I don't know what's in your market, but hopefully your eyes are open now and you can target properties that you can make, or both of us can make money on. In a lot of cases, it can be life-changing money just in one deal when you start talking about commercial real estate. So boom, hopefully this helps. Hopefully it's a better job than what I did on the first video a year or so ago. Just submit your deals, iccre.com. Thanks, and I will see you on the flip side.